All right. So at this point, our goal is to build a web application. We installed Node. We installed Yarn, basically grabbed code from the internet that we're going to use for our project. We created a project directory, which is essentially a folder that I'm now in VS Code. Nice, I can see the files over here. I'm looking at the lone file right now, which is package.json. And then the next step on our journey is to say, okay, this is all happening locally. I want to be able to version control or track changes to files over time using Git, and then connect that and put it in the cloud using GitHub, which will allow other people to see the code and will also serve as a way to back up my code so it's not just on my computer. Sound good to you, T?
That sounds great. Yeah, Git's amazing. Let's get to it.
Gotta make the Git joke.
I actually didn't even try to make a joke that time. You could check that you have Git. It should be like automatically installed, I think, with most Macs. But yeah, if you do git -f version, yep, we're good to go. And to initialize your Git repository or repo.
But hang on, T. I had a good joke. You gotta make the got joke. All right, now we can carry on. So
Okay,
Git
perfect.
version, we've got 2.24.3, and then what were you saying? So I should just do a git init, which just says, hey, I want Git to track this current folder that I'm in, which is the base of this great bit project.
Yep.
Git init, initialized empty
Git init.
Git repository. Cool. And then
Cool.
you go.
A fun thing. So yeah, if you VS Code is super nice and gives you a nice graphical user interface instead of using the terminal. So we can see here that you created some things, and so this is showing you what changes you've made to this project, which is super handy. And we see we have a DS store, which is added by the operating system. So I think you can actually remove that entirely from those changes. So if you go to, you can like delete the file. Yeah, you should be able to discard changes, I think. So we don't actually want to commit that to our repo. Yep.
Cool.
Cool. And so, okay, so now all we got is your package.json is the change. That's great. Now, yeah, let's go ahead and commit this.
And then I would create a Git Ignore right now and then commit. What do you think about that?
That's fine. Yeah, let's do that, because eventually we'll want to have one of those anyway. So yeah, let's go ahead.
And I feel like it's going to let me just sort of immediately say, because that DS store thing I'm just kind of continuously worried about. So let's just say,
Great.
hey, we want that to
Yeah.
exist, and we don't want DS store to be there.
Yeah. In case it wasn't, it is pretty obvious, but Git Ignore is ignoring any file you put in here or pattern will say to Git that, hey, we don't actually want to commit this to our repository.
We're going to track files. We're going to version control them unless I name you in this Git Ignore text file.
Yep. Cool. So yeah, now let's do our first commit.
So Git
First.
add everything, which sort of queues it up, right?
Exactly. Yep.
And then Git commit. I struggle with the spelling, but a single T. The message is first commit, which will require me to spell it one more time. I just committed it. But critically, I'm still only locally on my computer. I haven't done anything with GitHub, the online cloud service that allows me to keep track of the repository in the cloud.
Yeah, exactly. GitHub is actually owned by Microsoft, so it is, not like an open source project like I believe Git is, but it's also awesome and allows you to have free repositories on them. So let's go ahead and go to github.com and make an account if you don't have one. Ben has one. That's awesome. So let's make a new repository. Big green button.
Great bit. We're not going to do any of this down here because we are importing an existing repository. We're saying, hey, we want this folder that we have locally to be hosted online under this repository by the same name. We'll make it public, which means anyone will be able to see it.
Perfect. And then let's go through. Yeah, the middle one is the one we're going to want to do. So those three, because we're doing an existing one.
And I'm just going to copy and paste and fire it all at once, too.
Great. We can quick go through the lines. All right, cool.
Just to
Nice. There you go.
so
now we're on GitHub.
yeah, and what I do locally shows up online. It feels great. And there's the DS store that I put there. Do you want to talk at all? We sort of whizzed through those. Do you want to talk at all about what those lines do?
Just real quick, what we did is we added git push. Oh wait, yeah, where is it? Git remote add. So we're adding a remote repository on GitHub, and calling it origin. That's the first thing. The second thing, git branch -m main is renaming our primary branch to main, which I think it was already named main, which so it probably didn't actually do anything. And the last one is we're just pushing all those things to the origin, which is GitHub. So yeah.
Great. And so now as we edit files, we'll save them as one always does with files, then commit them to Git, and then push them to GitHub. And that will be the way we're able to track our progress and make sure it's all
totally. And yep, exactly. And then once it's on GitHub, it's really awesome because then people can pull it and we can pull it on different computers. And it's nice because it's on the cloud and everything. So
off to the races, so to speak. Very cool.